So it's been well over 2 months since the LittleBigPlanet DDoS attack, and while significant progress has been made, it seems like there are some problems that still remain. People are taking advantage of some new and already existing exploits, which are slowly tearing this game apart once again. There is some confusion amongst the LBP community regarding most of this stuff, so I'd like to explain everything in as much detail as possible. I also want to discuss the LBP Vita situation a little bit, because yes, those servers are down. They've been down for over a month now, and unlike the mainline servers, we don't know if they're ever coming back. Before I get into it, I first want to start off with a rundown of the events that took place beforehand, just in case some of you are out of the loop. Okay, at the very starts of March 2021, the LBP servers went offline due to a couple of losers abusing a server exploit, specifically a script that allows a large amount of levels to be published in a short amount of time. This ultimately caused the servers to stress out and slow down to a halt. Whether it was playing with friends, uploading, or browsing levels across LBP 1, 2, and 3, online was not working properly. And by the time we knew it, the servers were made completely inaccessible. At first, this was due to the DDoS attack. However, Sumo Digital eventually took the servers down themselves in order to investigate the issue, I assume. I made a video talking about all of this, and in that video, I kickstarted the whole #SaveLBP movement, originally as a way to gauge interest for a future LBP title, and surprisingly enough, this movement reached the trending tab on Twitter. But most importantly, it was acknowledged by the official LittleBigPlanet account, Sumo Digital, and Pete Smith. Pete Smith being the executive producer and/or senior producer of pretty much all of the LBP games, and overall has just had a significant involvement in many notable PlayStation titles. Since then, we've gotten confirmation that yes, the servers are going to be fixed, and that LBP is going nowhere. Their plan was to get them back up and running by the end of March. And they technically kept their promise, because the servers went back up on March 31st. Though that didn't last long, as only a few hours later, they went back down. Throughout the month of April, we actually had that same thing happen a few more times. The servers go up, they're completely functional, online multiplayer even works, and new levels can be published. But after a few hours, and in some cases a full day, they go right back down. On April 27th, we happened to get confirmation from the LBP Twitter account that thankfully, these were not more attacks. The servers going up and down was actually just due to them testing out new security updates. And those updates actually implemented a solution to help prevent future DDoS attacks. Sumo added rate limiting to publishing levels, which I assume is just an upload cooldown. In theory, this should make that DDoS script completely useless. In fact, we know it fixed the issue, as the mainline LittleBigPlanet servers have remained up and fully functional since the end of April. Some people don't actually know that, but yeah, the servers are technically back. It's just, there hasn't been an official confirmation or statement regarding the servers coming back by an official account. The reason for this is unknown, but it's believed that we're still in a testing phase of sorts. It's likely that Sumo is looking at the stability of LBP's servers after rate limiting was added, just to make sure everything is 100% fine before an announcement is made. Well, I can tell you for a fact that everything isn't exactly 100% yet, and that's for a number of reasons. Modders, hackers, whatever you want to call them, are back and more active than ever. And while they're not exactly taking down the servers this time, they are abusing brand new exploits and using previously discovered exploits to run this game into the ground. A relatively new exploit that I'd like to call the North Pole script has been abused over the past few days. You might have seen this already, but everybody's published levels are now being pushed to the top of their Earth. They're all clumped together, sometimes making the collision go all crazy. But it's affecting a lot of people, and it seems like there is no way to fix this issue manually just yet. Players are concerned that they themselves are being targeted just because they've experienced this North Pole issue, but that's not the case. This is most likely another script. It's automatically happening to millions of profiles. If it hasn't already, I'm sure every profile in the game will eventually get affected if nothing is done about it quick. And this one sucks because a ton of players have customized their Earth in a certain way over the years. If this issue gets fixed and it's not reverted, their Earth will still be a mess. Moving on to another issue that's popped up in the last few days, people's games are crashing just by visiting certain profiles. If you come across a comment, either on a level or profile, saying something like, "Hey, I made a level for you," do not check their Earth, as it will freeze your game completely. This is an issue that definitely needs to be fixed as soon as possible. This is not something that should be able to happen, but as of right now, please don't fall into this trap. Nothing should happen to your account or profile, but who really wants their game to crash? And another major thing that's happened is a new variation of the AutoHeart script. The AutoHeart script has been around for quite a bit now. At first, being used in a select few Sonic House RPG levels. It makes you automatically heart the level you're currently playing, sometimes even hearting specific profiles. I've discussed this in one of my previous videos, even confirming the original creator of this script being Technical Sock. While it probably wasn't morally right to use it in actual levels, there wasn't anything malicious going on with it. With this new variation of the AutoHeart script, however, which wasn't done by Technical Sock by the way, some levels are now being auto-hearted just by looking at them. An example I found of this is a Tankman model costume giveaway, and as you can hear, it's making me heart an unheart level every single time I hover over it. And that goes for quite a few levels in the LBP community right now. I'd also like to note that this specific Tankman giveaway isn't exactly legit. You play it and the level ends. But not only that, you can't get out of it. You can't leave the level until you close your game, as when you hit continue, it keeps loading you into the same level over and over again, while also hearting and unhearting over and over again. It's scummy, it's something that shouldn't even exist in this game, and you know what? There's more about this Tankman level, and that's related to a group known as the Fellas being credited in the level's description. And I'm going to say it right now, none of these people are involved. It's crazy because this same group of people often gets blamed time and time again for issues like this, while the true culprits are laughing their asses off. And just who are the true culprits? Well, I don't know for sure. Some people think it's John again. Honestly, it could just be anybody. It could be more than one person. I know there's a bad side to this community that just wants to see the world burn, and pointing fingers at random people without any actual evidence isn't going to do anything. My personal take on it is just focus less on blaming people, don't spend too much time guessing on who it could be, worry more about the problems they're causing, because even if you figure out who it is, a simple PSN ban is not going to make them go away. They have ways to get around console bans and IP bans, so the only way to really stop them is by fixing the issues. We can't fix the issues ourselves, obviously, but Sumo Digital can. Scripts like these can do way more harm than good to the community, especially when they're in the wrong hands. And I think the current dev team at Sumo Digital, or Sony, currently keeping this game alive, should try and get rid of scripts completely. I'm not an expert on any of this, I'm not a modder, but I was told by somebody in the modding scene that if Sumo were to blacklist something called the .ff files or .ff file scripts, that would ultimately solve some, if not all, of these script-related issues. It should at least help prevent future scripts from being abused. For this and everything else I've talked about in today's video, I suggest going on Twitter and sending Sumo, Sony, or the LittleBigPlanet account a simple explanation of what's going on in your own words. Maybe even just send a link to this video. People have been asking why I haven't promoted the Save LBP hashtag for months now, and my reasoning is because we've already been heard. We got through to the devs and we got the communication we needed, but things have changed. There are issues in this game that need to be fixed. It's clear that they care enough to keep the servers up, but we need to let them know that more issues are popping up that should be addressed. So if you want to continue pursuing the hashtag SaveLBP movement, feel free, I'm right there with you. Maybe include hashtag FixLBP in your tweets as well. Whatever you do, please do not tag Media Molecule, do not tag random Sumo devs that have no involvement in this series whatsoever. just stick to Sumo Digital, PlayStation, and the LittleBigPlanet Twitter accounts. Most importantly though, don't be toxic about it. Don't spam in replies, just keep it simple and keep it nice. I suppose you can tag Steven Isbell as well, but to be honest, who knows where he's gone to. Steven Isbell has been real silent since the whole Save LBP movement started. It's possible he might be taking care of some of the issues in the background while laying low, but I don't know. He might not even be the community manager anymore for all we know. In my opinion, I think you should just focus on the big three I mentioned. We're not done yet though, as we have another matter to discuss, and that's the LBP Vita Servers. Something I've seen very little discussion about, but that's probably because there's a very small fanbase surrounding it in comparison to the mainline series. But yeah, the LittleBigPlanet Vita servers are actually down. They've been down for quite a bit now. I wanted to avoid talking about LBP Vita just because of the possibility that they took down the Vita servers in order to implement similar security updates as the mainline games. But now, after a whole month or so, I'm starting to lean more and more to the theory that these servers were also attacked. Once again, people have asked me several times if I can do anything about this. Can I start a movement like I did with the mainline servers? I mean, if you're already making tweets regarding the mainline server issues, we might as well bring up the LBP Vita servers as well. Save LBP seems to be a strong enough hashtag. It's already recognized by the devs, but adding something like hashtag Save LBP Vita might get the message across a bit better. I understand that a lot of you are eager to hear more about the LBP servers. You want more consistent updates from the devs themselves. But again, I urge you not to harass these accounts. Don't tag Sumo or Sony every single day. Just please be patient. There's not a lot of people working on these games anymore. It's not a main priority. We're lucky enough to get the support we've been getting. Just keep that in mind while tweeting at them, okay? That's all for this video though. I think I've summed up pretty much everything that's going on right now with LBP. Let me know in the comments if you've either learned something, if I didn't include something, or just your general thoughts on all of this. Thanks for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.